Oh yeah.
Shenanigans. Truth, lies, 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 shenanigans.
Oh yeah. Shenanigans.
Trump is no friend to Native Americans. Over the 4th of July weekend, Trump gave a hate-filled speech in the sacred Black Hills of the Lakota people. He stood side by side with South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem. They are threatening to shut down public health.
Truth, lies, shenanigans. 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 Truth, lies, shenanigans.
Oh yeah.
Shenanigans. Truth, lies, 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 shenanigans.
Oh yeah.
Lies, shenanigans. Truth, lies, shenanigans. Truth, lies, shenanigans. Lies, shenanigans. Truth, 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 lies, shenanigans.
Oh yeah.
Truth, lies, shenanigans. Truth, lies, shenanigans. Truth, lies, shenanigans.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Truth, Lies, and Shenanigans, the live show. My name is Neo. I'll be your guide through all our shenanigans today. And my co host for today's show, our First Lady, Miss Lizzie.
What's up? What's up? Happy hump day. Happy Wednesday, everyone.
And back after a short hiatus, we have Jam.
I'm not sure humping is what these days are for. That seems a bit inappropriate.
And the
Five,
self-proclaimed old man, East.
And proud of it. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
OE!
All right, today's show, our host will be talking about Kanye West's mental health and the Kardashians, the Trumps promoting Goya, Fox News lawsuits, and Trump's secret police occupying Oregon. Remember, our show is live just about everywhere. YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, and Twitter at TLS Live Show. Please share, retweet, help us get the word out. And as always, make sure you join in the conversation. You can comment in any of our live feeds We'll be listening and responding and calling out some of your comments. So, let me tell you what Truth, Lies, and Shenanigans is all about. We'll be sharing our truths and opinions with you, calling out the lies, and pointing out those shenanigans going on. And on this show, we always try to have some shenanigans of our own.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans. Okay, one rule for the hosts: no cussing. If you're
Cuss
caught,
as often as you like.
no cussing. If you're caught cussing, there's a $10 penalty. And if you guys are caught cussing 3 times in the same show,
He wrote me beautiful letters.
you're
And they're
writing
great
some
letters.
letters. You're writing some letters.
Fell in love.
Writing a letter to your boy.
Wow.
So Lizzie's way in the lead.
You're a winner. You're a winner. You're a winner.
Shenanigans.
I'm following behind her though. I'm next. East, you doing all right? Jam still just won, huh? You doing good, buddy?
Oh, only good words.
All
Only
right.
good words.
So 3 times in the same show, you write a letter to Trump, and we'll post that on social media for 24 hours straight. Now, at the end of the season, we'll be donating our cussing pot to a as yet undecided charity. So we have to figure out what that is, guys. Not the Chanel Fund. No, not.
But so when we write the letter to Trump, we can curse in the letter, right? We can cuss in the letter,
absolutely. Yes, plenty of cussing. Plenty
That's
of cussing
expected.
allowed.
That's it. If there are any non-4-letter words, it's a problem.
All right. So we always start out our show with a random question so you can learn a bit more about our host each and every show. So hosts, here's your question. All right, your doctor has forced you on an all-liquid diet for the rest of the year.
Woohoo!
And they tell you, and he tells you you can have one last meal. What are you eating for that last meal? I'll start with who's ready? East. Dan, you ready?
Armand, I'm ready.
Oh,
Armand,
see,
deep dish
there
pizza.
you go.
Armand,
Take
deep dish
mine.
pizza.
I knew you'd say that.
Mm.
Is that wait? I thought Armand's was done.
No,
There is
there's still one.
So there's an Armand's in Rockville. It might not be the original, but for those of us who it means so much to, we're glad it's there.
Yeah, but the
Okay.
Armand's on Wisconsin Avenue, Washington D.C. Yeah, that's gone, unfortunately.
That
The
was like
original.
And
the
in Silver
originals. I
Spring.
got the originals. It's nice.
Yeah. All right, East.
Where?
East, what you eating?
I hate to admit to this, but I probably have to fry up a batch of chicken.
Chicken.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
Fried chicken.
while
If
we're on
it's
the
the last
subject,
meal for the year, okay, yeah.
I
Oh.
thought he said chitlins. Said he was gonna fry some chitlins. That's what I'm like. What?
while we're on the subject, East, what was your nickname in a high school football team? What was that
Didn't have
nickname?
one.
Didn't have one. Good answer. Good answer, East. Good answer. All right, Lizzie, what are you eating?
So at Bourbon Steak Restaurant here in DC in the Four Seasons, they have a dish called the lobster pot pie. It's on the menu for I believe it's $80 because it's that it's that decadent. It is amazing. And so that would be my final dish, the lobster pot pie.
Okay.
Wow.
So, of course, Jam took Armand's from me, but I was going to say I'd actually do just about any deep dish pizza. There's a couple. I'd like Uno's, Armand's,
Jerry's.
and I would definitely have to have some Edie's cookie dough ice cream up in there.
So is Uno still around?
I
Yeah.
believe so.
Not
There's fewer.
Union Station still has one, right?
Yeah, Union Station.
Mhm. Is it still there
Yeah,
in DC?
The house is large. I don't know.
It's on the second floor.
I think there's a couple in Howard County too, in
There's
Maryland.
there's one in like Annapolis or something, somewhere that I never go to. But one
See
day,
girl here. DC.
All right, I've got some people online who responded to our question. We got Rupka who says pizza, extra cheese. Mike Winter
From
point out
where?
there's one in Bethesda. The Armand's in Bethesda. Kevin Daxton says 4 seasons. Jacqueline Robbins said, "Ooh, sounds good." I think that was to Lizzie's. She gave the most descriptive dish for sure.
Y'all only eating one dish a year anyway, spending that much. Man, redunculous.
So one year, Leroy Clay, one year I took him to Bourbon Steak for his birthday, and we both indulged in the lobster pot pie. It was fantabulous.
All right.
It's
Okay.
All right. So we have another special guest today for our small business spotlight.
What?
Today's spotlight is on Aji Abbott from Oohs and Ahs Soul Food Restaurant. Aji, welcome.
Ooh.
Welcome, Aji. How are you?
I'm doing well. How's everybody?
Good, good.
Well,
Oh,
well.
well.
So, Aji, did I say it right? Is it Oohs or is it O's and Ahs?
Oohs and ahs.
Oohs and Ahs. All right, Oohs and Ahs. So tell us a bit about Oohs and Ahs and yourself as well.
Well, I mean, we are homegrown, both myself and Oohs and ahs.
Nice.
From DC, born and raised. Obviously with the name, we want to make people ooh and ah. You ooh when you take the first bite, and after you take the last, ah.
I love it.
Good. Yeah.
So, can you tell us exactly where you're located? I think you have 2 locations, right?
2 locations down. 5933 Georgia Avenue. Northwest is the one all the way uptown, Georgia and Peabody. And then the original, old school original is 1005 U Street Northwest,
Okay.
Right.
Washington, D.C., right across from the old school Masonic Temple.
And so, what's your most popular dish?
Well, I mean, everybody eats fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, candy,
Oh,
beans,
he said he's gonna
cornbread.
be there.
Oh, I've been there.
He said he's gonna make that his last meal.
For the year.
Exactly.
year.
I think we all want the fried chicken.
now,
Lizzie?
if you have some fried,
Lobster.
do you have seafood dishes there?
I have crab cakes. We do shrimp. We do great
That's
fried
enough.
fish.
There you go. You
That's
got
it.
me. You got me.
Okay, yeah, we don't have any lobster pie, but
So how did you
we
get
gonna hold our
started?
own.
Why did you go into the soul food business?
Well, I mean, I saw that it was an opening. Um, for me personally, I stopped eating pork in 1990. No disrespect to anyone that's still swining and dining, but
Swining and down. I love that.
but it ended up I could never really get soul food, and I saw that people were like me who may want soul food, but you could never really get it if they didn't put a ham hock and hog maw and bacon grease and everything else in it. So I also wanted to look at it in a way where we could make soul food available for the masses, for everybody. So now, we're making it where, the person that doesn't eat like that, as far as pork and those, you have people whose faith restrictions don't allow them to eat that and otherwise. And we wanted to make some good home cookings for everyone.
Nice.
All right.
East?
So,
So
Auntie,
how?
oh,
Go ahead, East. Go ahead, East.
I'm sorry. So, Auntie, of course, going through the pandemic, um, what are some of the things that you learned so that post-pandemic you can implement those things into your restaurants?
Well, obviously, one of the main parts of the pandemic that need to be made clear. I mean, the things that are needed to be done right now are kind of the things that needed to be done originally. I mean, as far as keeping clean, washing hands, keeping sanitary, wiping down continuously. You may not want to wear a mask all day, but people have to do that now. But that's stopping the spreading of germs and things of that nature. So I mean, I understand that now is a new normal, so to speak. But we should have been doing these type of things because there's been virus and germs and everything before this. It is going to be virus and germs after this.
Let me ask you,
So,
how did COVID negatively impact your business? Did it negative? I mean, you had to close down, right?
No, we stayed open actually.
Oh,
We were hurt for a minute though. It was tight. I mean, it went from we were doing well and then zero business. The schools left. No tourists, no catering.
wow.
I mean, it went from some people to no people real quick, and then we ended up realizing though that we wanted to stay open for those people who had to be out every day. Your doctors, your nurses, your fire people, your policemen, all those first responders, and even those who work in food service the same as us. There were some people that still had to work, and those people had to eat as well. So we wanted to be open and available, and we wanted to let everybody know that we're always going to be there. We're always going to be open. A good home cooked meal is not far away.
Yeah. You had another question, Liz?
So I was just going to ask, so currently, like, what are your safety regulations now? Like, what do people have to do if they come into your restaurant?
Well, obviously, a point of contention for most people is wearing a mask now. I mean, you kind of put that sign on the door, and most people don't want to, wear the mask inside. I understand some people don't think that it's serious. Some people don't like the mask because it restricts their breathing. I understand the reasons to why not like it, but there's also the reasons that is necessary. I mean, to stop spreading of germs. I mean, if you have your mask on and I have my mask on, then the likelihood of either one of us catching anything is a lot lower. Now,
Mm.
we also want to make sure that, we constantly wiping down all day. I try to make sure my people are wiping down with the bleach and disinfecting and sanitizing solution to make sure that everybody is staying safe, throughout. And then, I mean, I may even, we've been talking about it, I may even get a couple of those thermometers and start shooting
Have-
people forehead.
Yeah, my wife has a fitness studio. We do the same thing. Jam,
Yeah,
did you
indeed.
have a question for Aji?
I did. I missed the chunk because
That's all right.
the storm, so I don't know
Yeah,
what you
storms
said.
rolling by. I know.
So mine is pretty basic. I've been to your spot, but if you had to identify a dish you want to do, or like that experimental deconstruction of macaroni and cheese, what would it be? Like, is there something like that's there that people will probably be like, nah, nah, but you really just want to do that you haven't tried yet?
No, I mean, I've tried a lot of things, pretty much everything. I really would, at some point, me personally, I love Italian food and sauces and stuff. I would like to do like a soul Italian Oohs and Ahs type version. You
Soul
know,
Soul
Italian.
Italian.
I
I
don't
love
know.
that.
Oh man.
Get down.
You
okay.
know, way to do that.
Make a
The
make a
easy
soul
way to do that.
pizza.
Fry some spaghetti, throw some sauce on it. Boom. There you go.
All
Well,
right,
yeah,
Aji.
something like that.
That sounds
I'll be
awesome.
there. I'll be there. Shoot. Let me know if you want to do experimental day. I'll be the first in line for Soul Italian.
I make the deep dish almonds with the collard greens and fried chicken
I
on
like it. I like it. All right,
I will
Aji.
need.
All right, tell everybody where they can find you online so they can look you up, maybe support you, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Indeed, indeed. As far as our Facebook, Ooze, OOHHS, I think it's and Oz, but it might be a underscore in there or two. But Ooze and Oz on Facebook.
Okay.
On Twitter
Oz,
is
come on,
at
Oz.
OOHHS underscore and ANDAAHHS. And the Twitter is the same.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All right, guys, you got to check out Ooze and Oz Soul Food Restaurant. Some really good food. I've actually tried it, so it's actually some really,
Check it
really
out.
excellent food. So,
I appreciate
Right.
y'all having me on.
thank you for joining us,
And I
Aji.
love what y'all doing as well. Just keep it up. Keep it up.
Thank you, sir. Keep
All right,
on
thanks,
watching.
Oz.
We appreciate it.
Keep cooking. Keep
All right,
cooking.
everybody get the shrimp and grits too. Don't forget about the shrimp and grits.
The fried chicken is amazing,
yes.
by the way. You got to do the fried chicken and the mac and cheese. So,
Indeed.
all right, man. Thank you, Aji.
All right.
All right, man. Good
Bye.
to see you.
All right, that's our small business spotlight. Yeah, his food is really, really good. Gotta
Yeah.
try it.
Did you,
Woo.
did you see Mike Winter's comment for the soul food?
What do you
For
say?
the soul food.
Mambo sauce in your marinara.
The worst part was once he said it, I was like,
I see Kevin Thaxton said some fried chicken lasagna. Monica Alicia was laughing at swining and dining. Y'all be swining and dining. All right. So great business spotlight. So now onto our hot topics. And real quick, this is how our show works. Each host comes with hot topics they want to discuss, mostly based on discussions with you, the viewers, or just something that they want to talk about. They check out our Facebook page. You guys are usually involved. Liz is excellent with our Facebook page, so your comments and your suggestions there are really, really good for the show. I'll pick one of the hosts to start us off. They'll tell us what's going on, and then ask a question to the other co-host. We'll start the timer for the discussion, and we'll just talk it out. Once time is up, you'll see Genji.
Ooh, dance with Disney. Yes.
Hanging out with Liz today. and then we'll know time is up, and we'll end the conversation and move on to the next host and talk about whatever the next host wants to talk about. And remember, your comments and questions do help drive the conversation, so please comment away. So today, I think I want to start with East. East, I haven't started with you in a long time.
To the east, my brother.
All right. Saw this article in the Washington Post about Fox News.
Oh, our favorite.
And
Oh.
Fox News once again is embroiled in sexual harassment lawsuits. They recently fired an anchor named Ed Henry on July 1st, but they didn't give the details. And the details recently came out that he allegedly sexually harassed a coworker named Jennifer Eckhart. And some of the parts of the allegations include the fact that Henry restrained her with metal handcuffs, took nude pictures of her, and raped her in a hotel room.
Wow.
And Henry said that, Eckhart accused Henry of calling her his sex slave and little whore, and punished her when she did not comply with his demands. Now, of course, Fox News is a long history of sexual harassment.
Yeah, Roger Ailes and
Roger Ailes, Bill O'Reilly, and actually Sean Hannity was named as he was named in his article, and this is not his. I believe this is not his first time with sexual harassment allegations while at Fox. So my question is, how can we Uh, how can this news outlet continue to uh, process news and you know, get news out into the atmosphere when they consistently have this aura of covering up the truth and this history of sexual harassment? Um, it just seems like there's an aura of covering up at Fox News
Right.
and not allowing the truth to go out there.
Let's start with Jam.
And it,
Oh,
yeah.
good.
So, I mean, I think Fox News, I think the definition of Fox News, if you look them up in the encyclopedia, there's a picture of this macho guy with like a beard and maybe an axe, and he's cutting down people of color. I mean, cutting down trees. And so, like, I think, I honestly think it is part of what appeals to Fox's core audience to some extent. Even like people we might not consider core, those who voted for Trump but didn't say they voted for Trump, maybe some of those folks too. But like, I think it's very much, it falls into that demographic of, yeah, this is stuff that you're not supposed to do, but wink, wink, nod, it's still all right to do. They've been caught and they have to report it now. But I think it's so much a part of their culture, and it's almost, to me, it's almost expected, is what I'm saying. Like, if they didn't do it, would they really be Fox? Would they really have the people they have watching the show?
Lizzie?
I would offer that Fox News is just the name. The news portion is just a part of the name. It's a part of their moniker, but they're not really a news organization. It's mostly political entertainment and fodder. If you think about the amount of stories, the type of stories that they report, most of them have not been fact checked. Most of them have no veracity whatsoever. Most of them are inflammatory, accusatory, the entire nine. And so they're playing up to a specific conservative fan base, but what they're giving the public is not news. It's almost like an entertainment show, if you will. And I think that's how they get away with it. And then think about who we're talking about here. I mean, this is, a company, an organization that's owned by Rupert Murdoch. The people involved in this are white males. So that's how, there's the white privilege again. That's how, they are allowed to continue with all of the negative rhetoric that they put out there. But then even if you look at a lot of their female anchors, it's the same thing. Like, they don't necessarily get reprimanded or checked. Look at Tucker Carlson, who every couple of months he says something that's so inflammatory that he loses investors, he loses advertisers, but yet he still has a show. And so I think they live off of that. That's how they keep going, by all of the controversy. And then these are Trump fans. These are Trump supporters that are watching this, and they sit on it and they just ratchet it up, and it just continues over and over again. No one outside of that Trump bubble takes them seriously at all.
So I believe I'm right in saying that Fox News is the number one news organization. I think that's because they have a captive audience.
Mm-hmm.
They have an audience that's very, very specific. Whereas, you have MSNBC and CNN and ABC, they have the larger variety of people, but there's a very select group of people watching Fox News, and it's a lot of them. And they're the people who believe in these conspiracy theories, the people that are hardcore Republicans, conservatives, etc. And so when you're looking at the environment or the type of people, it's acceptable. Some of these behaviors, especially if you're thinking, some of these people tend to accept authoritarian types, personality types, then these behaviors are acceptable to this audience. So this is the reason they're still making money, they're still on the air, is because people are watching. People, even though advertisers may pull out because it might negatively impact them, to a broader audience, the people that are trying to reach that specific audience are happy. They're happy with the Tucker Carlsons. They're happy with the racists. They're happy with the misogyny. They're happy with that because that audience is fine with it.
Exactly. You don't have to have any.
Ironically,
You don't. I was just gonna say you don't have to have any couth. You don't have to tell the truth. You can be a racist. You could be a misogynist.
Yep.
You can be all of that. It's welcome. It's encouraged. That's what the audience feeds off of.
and ironically, to your point, Neil, also a large part of that audience are evangelicals.
Yep.
So
Mm,
it's almost it's a little hypocritical that they would accept. I'm trying to be nice about it. But it's definitely hypocritical that they preach about the word of the Lord and stand with one woman, yet all the misogyny that Trump has demonstrated and all of the sexual harassment that's been proven
Mhm.
at Fox News and these latest allegations, and they still stay with Fox News. You know, there's been no condemnation of their behavior. They almost glorify it, as everybody's been saying. So I don't see them changing. Even if Joe Biden wins, I don't think that's going to really alter their trajectory in terms of how they present the news at Fox News.
I mean, I would say, I'd suggest that, I mean, they prefer, in my opinion, they prefer to exist in a space where they can be the anti-establishment, because they exist on that whole, we are outnumbered, we're conservative, but we're telling the truth. And so that's one of the reasons they flourish and were able to propagate what they did under Obama, if you believe they propagated untruths, if you believe that. But but like that, I think they prefer that, because especially with the president like Trump, where some of the stuff he says is so egregious, even they are forced to tell the truth every now and then, and like be like, okay, yeah, he did say that, but moving on, you know. But anyway, I think that's part of their game, right. And to appeal to people who feel like they're outnumbered and they get all that Republican fear and they flash it on the screen. So,
all right, 15 seconds, Lizzie. You want to jump in?
Well, I was just going to say, just to piggyback off of what Jam said, I mean, they have maybe a couple of people there who tell the truth or who try to, get some truth out there, like Chris Wallace. But for the most part, it's just a sham network. Sham.
Good job. Great topic.
Gingy knows it's a sham.
Let me run down some of these comments. A lot of comments online. So we got Vaughn Perry, evangelicals. That's funny. He also said faux news.
Slogans tonight. Swanning and dining now, evangelicals.
Kevin Thaxton said all those Cialis commercials. Aji says, I feel handcuffed and sexually harassed every time I watch Fox News. Jacqueline says,
why you keep going back, Aji? Why you keep going back?
Jacqueline says now they're the propaganda wing of the GOP and a heavy dose of racism thrown in. Kevin says Tucker is heir to the Swanson family. Rob Bertrand, Rob B, what's going on? The word has been used as a tool to control the masses for some time. So, and then Mike Winter says if people haven't seen it, they should watch Bombshell. It's a great movie. It's about the Bombshell is a movie about the misogyny at Fox News. So.
Gretchen Carlson, right?
Yeah, Gretchen Carlson, yes. Yes. All right, let's move on. Why don't we go to Jam?
Jam.
Right. Woo! Teddy, Jam. So if you guys are familiar with this family called the Trumps, they have a daughter who was helping Goya on social media advertise some of his products. Now, some of you might be Goya fans, little saison, a little adobo, and a million other things. And so, but she's helping promote it. And the issue is that if you consider this an issue, there's this thing. There's both a domestic and international emoluments clause. And the short version of this clause is, if you are a federal office holder all the way up to the president, you should not be making money off of your position from either foreign or domestic businesses or officers.
Or promoting
and
them.
By Ivanka promoting it, it sort of implies they may be making that money. Now, Hold that thought real quick. I want you to know that just this week, a few days ago, in Scotland, we found out that Trump had reached out to the ambassador to Britain, who also happens to
Oh
be the
yeah,
Jets,
I heard that.
and had tried to get him to push them to have the British Open at his golf course in Scotland. But hold the thought. There's more. If you guys remember the Trump Hotel and how it's been hosting nationals from all sorts of other countries. They go there when they want to see the president. But wait. There's more. Um, so it's to the point now where the Trump campaign, as part of his election, is now supporting Goya and a Spanish language commercial. So my question to you, team, is: does the emoluments clause matter? Should it even exist if we're seeing this behavior?
So I'll jump in here. I mean, I'm frustrated because I don't think any of the laws matter. I don't think Trump considers any of the laws of our land to be relevant to him. So does the emoluments clause matter? Doesn't matter. He's breaking laws left and right, and then justifying them, or there's no one to hold him accountable. So I think he's just shady all around. Lizzie?
Listen, people only get away with what you allow them to get away with.
Yep.
So if we had a Congress, if we had
Yep.
a government that would hold him accountable,
Yep.
we would not be where we are right now. Instead, we have a bunch of people in Congress who just sit by and let him do whatever he wants, carte blanche, willy-nilly. And this is how these things come about. And then everyone acts like, oh, I can't believe he did that, but we're not going to punish him. We're not going to admonish him. Even when the story came out about Ivanka, someone, from the administration immediately came out and said, well, she's not going to be reprimanded. Well, why? If these things were happening under Barack Hussein Obama, my goodness, he would have been run out of town by now. The real president. But yeah,
and this
so
was that was after Kellyanne's fiasco too.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I forgot about that one. Good call.
And with Kellyanne's fiasco, the same thing happened. They immediately came out and said she will not be reprimanded. So that's why we're here. That's why he, feels all big and bad and brazen, that he can elicit people to bring business, to bring companies, to bring the British Open to his golf course in Scotland, because no one's telling him otherwise. That's why, both he and Ivanka, because it wasn't just Ivanka. Trump put up the Goya can as well.
Himself, yep.
And so that's why they both feel comfortable doing these things, because no one's telling them no.
East?
And to be specific, it's the Senate Republicans that are not holding him accountable.
Good call.
They're allowing this man to run roughshod. And even before he got to D.C., he was a thief and a wannabe gangster. He doesn't want to pay people.
What was he doing?
The people in Atlantic City, he didn't pay the people that helped him build the Taj Mahal in Atlantic City.
Mm-hmm.
And he ended up taking it to court. And because he allegedly has a lot of money, he was able to win that through attrition, didn't have to pay them. So
Trump University.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
Exactly.
Stealing money.
Trump
I
states
have something to admit about that. I actually did sign up for Trump University. I gave them money.
Yay.
Yes, they stole my money. They absolutely stole my money.
How do you feel about that?
They stole my money. Huh?
You didn't get a refund or anything like that?
No, I didn't get a refund.
You didn't get
that money back.
Someone give me. Yeah, I lost some money on that. I don't remember how much it was, but I know I put into they gave me this nice little packet and told me that they were going to teach me all about real estate and how to sit buy and sell. Nothing.
Unappreciative. That packet was worth every dime you paid, however much it was.
I think it was like close to $3,000. I think I spent. I don't remember how much it was. I think it was like $2,600 or something like that. Yeah.
About $1.
Hey, I had big plans.
I got paid for school. I got paid for school.
I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I mean it's true.
You know what, Neo? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Chanel bag.
Oh, no.
So that's a
I
Chanel
should
bag.
have. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Neo, if it makes you feel any better, I had a coworker who paid for the university and was adamant that he had learned valuable things from it, and so, and that was,
I mean,
and
there
I
were
was like,
things
okay.
to learn, but I didn't learn anything.
So, sorry to
It
hear
was
that.
it was like a multi-level marketing type thing anyway. So
A Ponzi scheme almost.
it basically they were just stealing money.
But the sad part is, whenever there's a Democrat that comes back into office, then emoluments clauses and all these laws and everything is going to be, they're going to hold the Democrats to the standard of,
Right.
well, you can't do this. But
And the
this
Democrats will
man
too.
has broken pretty much every norm and every law, a lot of laws that were set up in place. Like, we still don't know how much money he owes the Russians.
How much money he owes DC? How much money he owes DC?
True.
So this, I mean,
We need his tax
emoluments
return.
clause, it means something. It's so that our elected leaders are independent. And I mean, who knows what Goya? Who knows all of Goya's interests? I mean, Trump is chasing around the dollar. They could just entice him to do anything. I mean,
Right.
Trump is a little bit like oh, I'm sorry, I can't say it.
Say it. Say it.
I was going to, well, I said it. I was about to say it. Trump is like a trick. Like, you can get him to do whatever you want him to do. Just wait for money in front of him, and he'll do it.
Dollar
That's what he
bill,
is.
dollar bill.
You can get him to do whatever you need him to do.
I mean, if you pitch him right, you can.
Tricking and treating.
Yeah.
You can pitch him wrong. Like if you stick a young lady in front of him, how you think Kim Kardashian? They ain't had nothing to do with money. Man.
What do you think?
I'm done. The mic's off.
What is this about Kim?
Stress right now. We're not gonna bring up any outside shenanigans.
We gotta leave Kim alone.
There's more than one way to get from A to B. We all learned that in math class where we draw maps.
What's the guy talking about? What's he talking about?
You got it. This guy. That's good. All right. Let me get some of these comments in online. Zuleika says, Z, what's up? Exactly, Liz Z. Had this been Obama, and then Ernest Cooper said all clauses matter. That's a funny one. Mike Winter says $650 a night in Mar-a-Lago. Sorry, but Trump Plaza in Vegas is about the same price as Circus. Jacqueline Rom says he's been having dignitaries stay at
Trump Hotel.
No, something something Plaza in Florida.
Remember, he was trying to get the G Summit at one of his hotels.
Yeah,
as well.
he was the G Summit.
At the Doral, at the Doral.
Avi, another one of our hosts. If you paid him money, what would you make him do, East?
I would make him leave office, Avi.
Vicky.
A happy ending.
Last one, Vicky says this.
For everybody.
Sickening this is because this person has held this position. We as taxpayers have had to pay and protect him for the rest of his life. Yeah, that's.
Unless he goes past Iran too close, they gonna grab him up.
It is frustrating. All right, let's move on. Yep, we're good in time. Let's go with Lizzie.
Liz E. So Jam.
I keep forgetting to ask this. So, is this a truth, lie, or shenanigans?
Oh.
Truth and shenanigans.
Truth and shenanigans.
Truth.
All right, let's
Truth and shenanigans.
Banana truth.
Truth agains.
I like that. Sounds better. She got you.
So Jam kind of introduced us to Kim Kardashian for the evening, who's going through a very difficult time with her family, particularly her husband, Kanye West. So for those of you who are not familiar, Kanye West announced that he was running for president. And then I guess it was supposed to be a campaign rally in South Carolina a couple of days ago. He went on this ridiculous rant and called out Harriet Tubman and saying that she didn't free the slaves. She, let them go so they could work for other white people. And then he talked about his daughter. He wanted to have their oldest daughter aborted. And so he feels guilty about that. And so people on social media, started to say, okay, he needs to take his meds. Kim needs to make him take his meds. How dare she not, handle this, get him to a doctor and make him take his meds. So then on Monday, he went off on Twitter. That was his first Twitter rant of the week, where he claimed that Kim and her mother, Chris, tried to lock him up. And so as a result of that, he is no longer giving Chris access to his kids. He's sick of, the environment with the Kardashians. They want to put him in a 5150 hold, which, some people think he deserves. And then yesterday was a different Twitter rant, where he went on to talk about how he's been trying to get divorced from Kim Kardashian when he found out that, she was sleeping with Bill, and he made all of these other allegations, like subtle allegations about her.
Repeat that.
Meek Mill, the rapper.
Uh-huh.
And so he made all of these subtle allegations about her infidelity, even though when they got together the second time around, she was married to someone else. When she got pregnant with their first child, she was married to someone else. And Kanye is a cheater as well. So, pot, keep calling kettle black. Why don't you? But my question for you is, a lot of people were coming down on Kim in relation to Kanye's diagnosis. He has acknowledged and then taken it back and then acknowledged again that he suffers from bipolar disorder. Kim has come out and acknowledged that he suffers from bipolar disorder, and he refuses to take his medication because he thinks it affects his creativity. So my question to the group is this Kim's fault?
Before we
Okay. Sure, go ahead.
I was gonna say before we
No, I was just going to say, are people right in holding her accountable, or saying, that's your husband, it's your responsibility?
Before we start, I just want to share this video of Kanye.
And I called my wife, and she said, we're going to have this baby. I said, we're going to have this child. My mom saved my life. My dad wanted to abort me. My mom saved my life. There would have been no Kanye West because my dad was too busy.
So this video.
And so let me just say, not really, a critique of Kanye West, a critique about his, attempt to run for president, a critique of Kim Kardashian outside of the scope of Kanye West's illness. My question is, should she be held accountable for these manic breakdowns? Is this her responsibility? What do you think she should do? And I've seen a lot of comments about how she should have handled this or what have you. So I just want to pose that to the group first, and then I'll give my thoughts and interpretations.
Why don't you start, Jam? By the way, that video was from his campaign rally that he recently had.
In South Carolina, yes.
South Carolina. Jam?
Okay, there's a lot to that one. So my short answer is no, she shouldn't be held accountable. You can't hold a person accountable for another person's actions. Basically, When a person who seems like they are that troubled mentally refuses any help that you may or may not have offered, then holding the person who may or may not have offered the help accountable is a cheat on what you see going on. There are many legal ramifications that have to deal with how you treat a person. Period. Like if I were to grab up Neo and be like, "Hey, Neo, take this," I can't do that because
Might.
it is illegal, and it is the same for a person that you are married to, or some other version of that. But I would like to shout out. So I'm on the no. That's not on her. It'd be nice if she, I don't know, could have helped, but again, it's not on her. But
Well, he said that he was going to lock him up. She said that he was trying to lock him up.
I mean, I have heard that is one of the steps you have to take if someone is having a full manic breakdown before they can be forced to take drugs. So, but outside of that, I would like to shout out Dave Chappelle and his visit to Kanye. I don't know if you guys caught that or not.
I did.
But he went out and visited him. And what stands out to me, I don't know if you guys remember, in one of Dave Chappelle's skits years ago now, he talks about when Martin Lawrence had a breakdown, and he's like, no one understood the pressure Martin Lawrence was under, and the fact that what makes a man run out into the middle of the street with a gun doing whatever he was doing. And so that reminded me of that. And so when he went down to visit Kanye, no matter what state Kanye is in, and what state Chappelle is in for that matter, I think it's important that he acknowledges that and sees that and has actively tried to do something about it. Whereas a lot of times we don't see, like everyone steps back and they just let wherever that poop is going to land, they let it sit there and smell. And so I appreciate that out of Dave.
All right, East.
Yeah, well, just like with an alcoholic, unless that person wants help, it's hard for other people to help him or her. So to say that, is it on Kim? It's not on Kim. It's on Kanye. Kanye has to acknowledge that he needs help, and then once he acknowledges he needs help, that's kind of like that's a lot in getting the help that he needs. It's it's kind of sad and unfortunate when you see somebody having some mental issues kind of in front of a camera. Like it's bad enough just on a personal level when you see it in your family or on the street or in your profession, but when you see it in front of the camera and that person has an inability to stop it or doesn't acknowledge it, it's kind of tough to handle. Just like Lizzie said, it appears as though Kim tried to intervene to prevent this manic episode from becoming public. So I don't know what else she can't tackle him. She can't. Well, she could shoot him, but that would be illegal. I mean, but there's that doesn't solve the problem. I mean, it creates more of a problem actually. But also, like, there's nothing. I mean, until he becomes a danger to himself or others, that's when the authorities can step in, police can step in, and really address the matter. But until then,
but don't you feel
he
like
can say whatever.
Don't you feel like he's getting to that point?
I mean, he hasn't. It has to be acute. Like
Yeah.
it's gotten. It's gotten more and more. It's gotten more and more stringent as time has gone along. So, like I would say back in the maybe late '90s, early 2000s, you could commit somebody a lot more easily if they were exhibiting some certain symptoms, like we allegedly think Kanye is.
Okay.
But nowadays, you have to almost be caught literally red-handed, like blood on your hands and things like that, to be legally committed because of your mental health issues.
All right. So here's my stance. I'm sad for Kanye. To answer the question specifically, no, it's not necessarily her fault. I think she does have some responsibility as his wife, because she is his wife. But again, like he said and everyone else has said, she can't make him do anything. But I think she is responsible for taking care of him as his wife, which is why she has the right to do a 5150 or whatever that is. That am I saying it right? 5150. Okay. So it kind and the reason I'm sad for Kanye is because bipolar runs really heavy in my family, and I've seen bipolar behavior. And matter of fact, my older brother, who he had a manic breakdown years back, and I watched it, and it was really sad to watch. It was really sad to watch. And I mean, to the point where I think he was considering suicide. He was acting very strangely, and he was never right after that. So the bipolar really took hold from then on. And even today, I don't know where he is. He's he left. He was in a home for a while, um, and he is out homeless. He's been seen on the streets of DC somewhere, and I can't find him. So it's really sad to watch. And do I wish I could have made some different decisions to take care of him, like they're trying to do? It would have been nice, but he's lost to me basically. And so watching Kanye like this is actually sad, really, really sad to me, and it brings some sad memories back. But Lizzie.
So what I wanted to impress upon people, because I saw so many folks on social media, on my news feed, who were actually blaming Kim and saying that she wasn't adhering to her responsibilities as a wife, as his partner. And I don't think a lot of people realize, again, like both East and Jam have said, you can't just force someone to take medication. In this country, we have a right not to take medicine if we don't want to, unless it's court ordered, unless you are in the hospital and the doctor is giving it to you. I'm a type 1 diabetic. If I don't take my insulin, I will die within 36 hours. However, if I say tomorrow I'm not taking insulin ever again, it is my right to do so. And you can't force it upon me unless I am committed, unless someone has alerted a doctor and has said that I'm a harm to myself. What we don't know about Kanye's situation is if he has made threats to harm someone, to harm himself. That's the only way really that she can kind of get him, into the 5150 conversation, is if he's posing a threat to himself or to someone. And she does have small children in the house. So that might be to her advantage, in the very near future, to convince, some doctors to come and possibly commit him. But just because he's speaking irrationally and making, talking, ranting, and, making no sense, that's almost every homeless person on the street. A lot of our veterans are suffering just the way Kanye is, but they're not at the point where they need to be committed or where the law says that you could commit them. So Kim just can't up and say, take him. There's a lot that goes into this process. And I hate that, I have to be up here standing up for Kim freaking Kardashian of all people. But I just thought it was a bit unfair that all of this was being put on her when, because she made a statement today, and to hear her tell it, she has tried to help him. And like Neo said, a lot of us are dealing with this in our families. And so we know what it looks like.
So let me get some comments in online.
One thing before we start, and this sort of touches on the comments too, is that I think Kanye has been the most visible person we've seen decline publicly. And I think that's important.
Aside from Britney Spears.
True.
She's still suffering.
To me, Kanye stands out much more clearly in terms of seeing the mental breakdown. And I think that's valuable for our society. And I think that's one way that it highlights an issue that we've been unwilling to address and see, really.
Okay.
So that's all.
All right. So Liana Jones says that's a huge burden. Ernest Cooper says calling a person crazy is dismissive, Dave Chappelle. And I agree with that, because I really don't like hearing people call him crazy, because it's an illness. Yemi says, no way. Jacqueline Robb says, there's little she can do. It's disgusting that his fans stood up clapping and cheering for him. Mike Winter says Trump would have had federal police pepper spray him.
That's
Rupka says,
not Kanye.
Yeah. Rupka says, I just don't think Kanye is all that crazy, not presidential and all, but we see so many things out of context.
What's out
Also,
of context?
Mike Winter had a comment about basically Kanye basically hasn't been right since his mama died.
Say it again.
Mike Winter had a comment on Facebook that Kanye hasn't been right since his mother died.
That's a good point.
But I'm going to challenge that. A lot of people don't like to acknowledge, especially Black folk. Kanye, and nobody's going to be happy that I'm saying this. Kanye wasn't nice. Kanye was an ass before his mama died. And do I think that exacerbated some things? Absolutely. Like we've all dealt, well, hopefully not all of you, but I've dealt with the death of both of my parents, and it takes a horrible toll on you. However, I don't want to assign all of this to that particular event, because Kanye was doing some stuff before Donda died, and she would often have to come out and like make amends and speak out on his behalf because of his behavior.
She probably protected
And
herself.
to,
It probably just made it worse.
To draw an analogy to what Lizzie was saying, Marvin Gaye had some mental health issues, but he was able to keep it under control until Tammy Terrell died. Once Tammy Terrell died, he was done.
Yeah. I just want to point out one thing. My sister said, I miss you, Lawrence, my brother. And she also said, did Elijah have a choice? They injected him and he wasn't committed. Talking about Elijah, I forget his last name. The black child who was killed by police. What is his last name? I can't recall. We had it on the show a while back. But all right. All right, let's move on. So the next one is mine. So this is going to be fun. We're over time, so I'm going to try to make it quick. Now, before I start, I want to warn people that portion of the segment has images of violence and nudity, which some may find offensive. So you guys' favorite president has been sending federal agents into U.S. cities under the guise of protecting federal sites to get around requests from local leaders to stand down. So he's basically saying, he's protecting federal property, but whatever. And for weeks now, those agents have been roaming the streets of Portland, engaging in violence against demonstrators, and in some cases, seizing protesters. And let me just show you the video.
What are you doing? Use your words. What are you doing? Use your words. What are you doing? Use your words. What is going on? Who are you? NLG will get you out. What's your name? Tell us your name. Okay, you're fine. We'll get you out. We got you, friend. We got you. The fuck? NLG. You just violated their rights. You just violated their rights.
I wanted to show that I was not doing anything provocative or aggressive. I was just standing there with my arms by my sides. That's all I was doing.
So yeah, and then it's crazy what's going on. Yeah. And just a little while ago, he said he's sending FBI, ATF, DEA, U.S. Marshals into Chicago now to quote.
And Albuquerque.
Yeah.
And Albuquerque.
To quote, help drive down the violent crime there. Now, that's unrelated to the protesters, but in places like Oregon, protesters are not backing down. We saw the naked Athena and the Navy vet in the video. And we also have the Wall of Mothers. I don't know if you saw these ladies who are protecting the kids. And the husband supporting them. So my question to you guys, giving all these images and videos and stories of standoffs and things like that, I mean, iconic images, and moments where like protesters were beating back. So the question is, uh, will this all backfire on Trump? Do you think it'll backfire on Trump, or do you think it will kind of galvanize his whole law and order stance? You know, the stance he took out of the Nixon playbook. Um, so, or do you think it's going to create more violence as well? I'll start with Jam.
I think that the agents he's sending out are a capitulation to the fact that this current solution he's using, if I understood it correctly, isn't working the way they wanted it to. So I think the agents he's sending out aren't going to be like these unmarked people that we're seeing. They're going to be, my understanding, they seem to be like sound a little bit more advisory and a little less not undercover, however that works. But I see it not backfiring is hard with this administration. Has anything illegal that's occurred backfired on him? I think it's more of I think galvanize is the right word. We got Galvatron on one side and all the good Autobots on the other side. And he's just adding more and more people to we can't let this happen to America. This is not how America's supposed to look. Like,
let's go with East.
I mean, to backfire, that implies that he has a game plan. I don't think he has a plan. I think he's playing to the base again. He's using the dog whistle about law and order. He's sending these federal troops to appears only to democratically run cities.
Oh, he's admitted to that. He said that.
Yeah. So a particular concern to me is the I know with Chicago, and I think Portland. I'm not sure about Albuquerque, but they're not only democratically run, but run by women also. So
that's a good point.
Yeah. So
I didn't even pay attention to that.
Yeah, he hasn't moved on. He did it in D.C. too with Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Yep.
When he did the photo op in front of the church. So I mean, like I said, to backfire means he has a plan. I don't think he has a plan. I don't think he cares. I think he's just kind of throwing stuff against the wall and seeing what sticks with his base. And I think covert racism always seems to stick with his base. And he's running to that. In a sense, that's his playbook.
Lizzie, is this going to backfire? Is it going to galvanize?
I think a little bit of both.
Okay.
I think if he continues and we start to see more, ugly images, especially of the young lady who's naked and she's being, shot at with a pellet gun. And, props to the people who stood in front of her to try to protect her, because that was just vile and disgusting. The attack on the Navy guy, Navy veteran,
He
vile
broke his
and
arm,
disgusting.
by the way.
He was doing nothing. He was standing there. But this is, a president who claims that he loves the military. Actually, no, you don't really. But, it harkens back to, Gil Scott-Heron saying that the revolution will not be televised. It is being televised. And I think that's going to be the one thing that maybe allows it to backfire for Trump, is that as we see more and more of these images and you see people who are there peacefully protesting, and they're being attacked, they're being scooped up, they're being kidnapped, they're being taken to undisclosed locations. I think that is going to start to not sit well with a lot of people. And then, of course, you're going to have people who are going to come out there armed. People, at some point, people are going to stand up and be like, I'm not taking this, especially, and I hate to, put Chicago on the map, but that night, Chicago might not be the place for that, bruh. It might
I can see
not
violence picking up.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I think we've gotten to a point where we are slowly but rapidly at the same time getting into this us against the government mentality. Because he's not doing anything for the good of the people. He's doing stuff that is with the intent of deflecting from all of his issues, deflecting for his shortcomings with the coronavirus situation, deflecting from the fact that he's down in the polls. So he wants to appeal to his constituents like, hey, these people are violent, so I have to do something. This is how I'm going to protect you. When in reality, it's not protecting anyone.
Right.
Mhm.
My quick thoughts are, I think we're looking at, if we're talking, like we were talking earlier, we're looking at the Fox News type people who are authoritarian, and they're looking at this and they're like, oh, this is great. We're seeing people get beat down. This is sort of what they are like, okay, this is great. I mean, if you think back to the slavery era when people were lynching and they were all standing around watching people get lynched, I mean, there were crowds of people standing around watching people get killed, hung by their necks, like they were watching an animal being so, and there were crowds of them. So this is very similar to that. So those people, and there again, when we're thinking about that Fox News group of people, those extreme conservatives, the far right, those type of people, this is what they want, authoritarian type rule. So they're good. So his base loves this. But there are people in the middle who did vote for Trump, I think, who are ultimately going to turn. I hope. This is a hope. Because most people want to do right by others and want to do good and want to be good. And when you see these images, and Lizzie, you made the good point about, it's being put on film. Now we're seeing it. In the Nixon era and the Reagan era, we didn't see that. They were all law and order, but we didn't see all the bad stuff that comes with law and order. Now we're seeing it. And now we can look at it, and when people are seeing this, I think people's genuine goodness will come out, and I hope that it will come out by the polls.
But don't sleep on Fox. I don't know if you guys remember, I don't know if it was 2 or 3 or 4 weeks ago, which lie it was, but do you remember when they doctored the Seattle Seattle camp that they had made, and they were throwing the picture, and they had the same guy holding an assault rifle in all the pictures? That's what Fox does. That's how they play that. That's how they play that. They do the dog whistle. That's how they play that game with people. So,
well, even on our Facebook page for the couple that was in St. Louis who pulled the guns out on the protesters, someone posted an image of them with the guns out on the protesters, but with one of the protesters with the AK-47. And I jumped in there like, that is doctored, that is fake news. None of the protesters had guns. So stop it. Stop it.
Right.
So, Neil, was that a truth, lie, or shenanigan?
Oh, thanks for, I might have to get you to start asking, but those were lots of lies and lots of shenanigans. All right, I'm going to go really, really quick through some of these comments. So Mike Winter did fact check me, correct me, make a correction, which was great. Lynchings were not the slavery era, which he's right. It was far after the slavery era. Well, they were lynching then too. Weren't they lynching back in the slavery era? Right, they were still lynching.
I thought they were lynching to slavery too. Yeah. They were more examples.
Yeah. Kevin Thaxton says this is how fascism starts. Ron Perry said, cough, white Americans. All right, so let's move on. All right, so that is our hot topics for the day. Really, really great discussions, everybody. Really great discussions. I loved your topic, so really, really good job. All right.
We love yours.
All right, so don't leave us yet. Every day, every show, we have a game. We end our show with a game to have a little bit of fun, lighten the mood a little bit. So since we have all the OGs in the house.
The original.
Yes.
Old guard, Netflix. No, sorry.
We're playing our favorite, most likely to.
Uh-oh.
All right. So we're ready?
Let me put my Superman pants on.
It's one of our more popular. All right. Real simple. Real simple. I'll show a statement on the screen, and each one of you will point or name the person that is most likely to do whatever it says. The person.
Neo.
Wait a minute.
Neo.
The person with the most fingers pointed at them gets a point. Person with the most points wins the game and gets the final thought for the show. All right. So, for example, we'll say most likely to poop in their pants, and we don't say Neo. Don't point at, don't point at Nia.
True.
Shenanigans.
All right.
Ah.
All right, so we're ready. All right, East, you got the scoreboard?
Got it.
Yes. All right, let's go. Most likely to kiss a poster of a celebrity. Oh, that's this way.
Oh,
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
W
Yeah,
Shenanigans.
yeah. Okay, that's the easy one. Lizzie wins that one. I'm not kissing no
gonna tell you.
posters.
I'm not going to tell you the celeb, but I've kissed him on several occasions.
Well, you need to tell us then. Now you have to tell us.
Donald Trump.
You have to yeah, we're just gonna assume that until you tell us. So.
Yep. You got a little orange on your nose.
Are you ready? Pull a girl's hair. I'm still going with Lizzie on that one.
Thank you very much.
No, I respect the female's hair. I respect the woman's hair. No,
I'm not pulling a woman's hair. So
no.
Sorry, Liz, you get that point.
Avi was like New Kids on the Block. Okay, that was a poster.
No, not that one.
Who's
But
most
close.
likely? Who's most likely to donate blood? I'm gonna go right here. Who you pointing at, Lizzie? I can't tell you pointing at.
Shit, East. East.
All right.
East
Okay.
those blood-
So me, I get the point. All right, I get a point.
All right.
All right.
Wait,
Most-
Howard,
wait.
I told y'all he cheats. I told y'all he cheats.
No, you said East, but East was pointing at me, and I was pointing at me. So that's two.
Oh, I thought East was raising his hand like him.
Who got points for the first one? Who got points for the first one?
Lizzie got the first one.
Oh,
Y'all were wrong.
Lizzie got two. She's got 2 points. All right.
I thought we all got points. We all voted for Lizzie, didn't we?
No, but whoever gets the most points wins. Okay. So most likely to wear the same clothes 2 days in a row. Oh boy.
Damn.
Okay, Jam gets it. Jam's got the point. Only because Lizzie broke the tie. All right. Most likely to cry in a public place. Hey, I'll go with Lizzie. I gotta get this pointing thing down.
Yeah.
Jam? Okay, Jam. What'd you say, East?
I cry a lot, y'all. I cry a lot.
Going with-
So.
okay.
Oh, no.
Oh, Lizzie's about to win this.
Yes, she is.
Of course. I'm old.
So Melanie Rochelle James said definitely not Lizzie.
She's a big O.
I think that was the last question. I think it was the last question. I think she was talking about the last question. All right. Most likely to pee in a bottle. I got Jam. Jam. Oh, that's Jam. Oh, yes. Yeah, no question. Jam. I've heard stories. I heard stories. I know the stories.
That's stopping now.
All right. Most likely to have a career as a stuntman. Career as a stuntman. Yeah, I'm going with Jam too on that one. All right, we're going first one to 4 wins. First one to 4.
I don't know how many I have.
You have 3.
Okay, cool.
Hold their breath the longest. Jam. I'll go with Jam. He swims a lot. Okay, well, Jam gets that point. Jam gets that point. Oh, that's a win. All right, Jam. Good job, Jam.
Way to come back, brother. Way to come back.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
But I don't know if this is the kind of game you want to win necessarily. Just saying.
Oh, okay.
just saying.
I mean, you take an L or you take a W. What'd you take? What'd you take today?
All right, so start thinking about your last thought, James. Get it together.
Oh, I got it. I'm good.
All right, good. All right, so let's get some shout outs in.
Shout out to Kevin. Thanks for showing up, Kevin. What up? Rainy. What up?
Is that
girl?
Kevin Thaxton you talking about?
Yeah, Kevin Thaxton. You can throw another Kevin if you want. I figured we had to use his last name.
East, any shout outs for you?
Hey, shout out to Aji, not only for being on the business segment, but for watching the show.
Yeah, he watches the show all the time.
Always.
Very good.
And Lizzie, any shout outs?
Shout out to the Washington Nationals, the defending World Series champions. Whoop, 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 whoop. Major League Baseball starts tomorrow. The Nationals are playing the Saints. the Skankies. But we are looking to go back to back this year, y'all. Back to back.
Back to back. All right. And then my shout out goes to our co-host Rob B and his band Fallen Machine. This Friday they'll be premiering their newest single. So check out on Facebook and Instagram for more info. We'll put it on our page as well. So this Friday, check it out. So so it should be awesome. So that's our show for today. We definitely appreciate you joining us. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe at TLS Live Show and www.tlslive.show. And we always have great discussions on our Facebook page. Like I said, Liz Z is our moderator there. If you missed any part of our show today, we'll be rebroadcasting throughout the week, and we'll have one of our hosts online to chat with you for a one-on-one. Our next live show will be Sunday, 4 p.m. with Liz Z, Jam Z, and myself. So, Jam, as our winner for the game, what's your final thought, buddy?
My final thought is this. These leaders, Gina Raimondo from Rhode Island, the governor, London Breed, San Francisco's mayor, Jacinda Ardern, New Zealand's prime minister, and Gretchen Whitmer, Michigan's governor, all had some of the lowest coronavirus counts up to now. And the only other thing they have in common is that they are women. I thought that was rather amazing.
Same thing internationally, apparently.
Yeah. So,
all right. Great final thought. All right, guys. Great show. We'll see you guys next time.
Good run.